The snow was falling gently over the small-town train station, flakes swirling in the night air, gathering in soft mounds along the wooden benches. The clock above the platform ticked past midnight, its hands dragging slowly toward another lonely hour. People had long since gone home. The last train had pulled away, its whistle fading into the distance, leaving behind only silence and the occasional gust of cold wind that whistled through the cracks of the old station. On one of the benches sat a young woman, her coat too thin for the bitter chill, her suitcase at her feet. Her name was Elena, though no one in that town knew it. She had stepped off the train hours earlier, thinking she was running towards something new, but the world had met her with nothing but empty streets and locked doors. She had nowhere to go, no family waiting for her, no job offer that was real, no one to call her name with love. The suitcase contained all she had left. A few dresses, a faded photograph, and a letter she could no longer bear to read. Her hands trembled, not just from the cold but from exhaustion, the kind of exhaustion that seeps deep into the bones when life keeps taking and taking until you wonder if there is anything left to give. She wrapped her arms around herself, pressing her eyes shut against the loneliness. The train station, with its cracked paint and flickering light bulbs, seemed to echo her life perfectly, worn down, forgotten, waiting for someone who would never arrive. Just when despair threatened to swallow her whole, a small sound broke through the silence. A voice, soft, uncertain, but filled with warmth. "Are you waiting for somebody?" Elena lifted her head, startled. Standing before her was a little girl, no more than 6 or 7, with messy brown curls and eyes that sparkled even in the dim station lights. She wore a wool hat too big for her head, slipping down toward her eyebrows, and clutched a ragged stuffed bunny in her mittened hands. Elena tried to force a smile. "No, sweetheart. I'm not waiting for anyone." The little girl tilted her head, studying Elena the way children do when they see through walls adults work so hard to build. "Then, why are you still here?" Elena hesitated. How could she explain loneliness to a child? How could she say she had been abandoned, overlooked, discarded like luggage no one claimed? She swallowed the lump in her throat. "I guess I don't have anywhere else to go." The girl's eyes softened, her lips pressing together as though she understood more than she should. Then, with a boldness that made Elena's breath catch, the little one climbed onto the bench beside her, hugging her bunny tight. "That's funny," she said quietly. "Because I don't have a mommy. And maybe you need a home, and I need a mommy." Elena froze. The words hung in the air, so simple and yet so impossible. Her chest tightened, 1,000 emotions rising all at once, pain, disbelief, longing. She blinked at the child, unsure whether to laugh or cry. "Where is your family, little one?" Elena finally whispered. The girl looked down at her bunny. "My daddy's here somewhere. He works at the station sometimes, helping with the trains. But he's busy tonight, and I get lonely. Mama went away a long time ago. Daddy says she's in heaven." Her voice cracked on the last word, and Elena felt something inside her break too. Without thinking, she reached out and wrapped her arm around the child's small shoulders. The warmth of that simple touch filled a place in her heart she thought was frozen forever. For the next hour, the girl, whose name was Lucy, chattered about everything from her bunny's adventures to the way snowflakes looked like diamonds when they fell on the streetlights. Elena listened, sometimes smiling, sometimes blinking back tears. It had been so long since anyone had wanted her company, so long since anyone had looked at her not with pity or dismissal but with simple, innocent acceptance. Then came the moment that would change everything. Lucy turned to her again, eyes wide and serious. "Elena," she said softly, as though testing the sound of her name. "You don't have to be alone anymore. You can be my mommy. I already love you." The words knocked the air out of Elena. She had been unwanted for so long, unwanted by her parents, who told her she was too much trouble. Unwanted by the man she thought she'd build a future with, who left her standing at the altar with nothing but shame. Unwanted by the world that seemed to keep moving while she was left behind. And now, here was this little girl, this stranger with tangled curls and two big mittens, offering her the one thing she had craved all her life, belonging. Tears spilled freely down Elena's cheeks as she pulled Lucy close. "Oh, sweetheart," she whispered, her voice breaking. "I don't know if I'd be any good at being a mommy. But I think I already love you too." It was then that a deep voice called out across the platform. "Lucy? Lucy, where are you?" A man appeared, tall and broad-shouldered, with tired eyes and grease stains on his work jacket. He spotted his daughter and rushed forward, relief flooding his face. "There you are. I told you not to wander off." Lucy scrambled down from the bench, tugging Elena's hand with her. "Daddy! Look, this is Elena. She doesn't have a home. But I told her she can be my mommy." The man froze, his eyes shifting to Elena. He saw the suitcase, the thin coat, the desperation she tried to hide. He hesitated, caught between caution and compassion. Elena stood, brushing at her tears. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to." But Lucy interrupted, tugging at her father's sleeve. "Daddy, please. She's kind. She's lonely. And I know she's supposed to be with us." For a long moment, silence hung between them. The man's jaw tightened as though he were weighing the impossible. Then, to Elena's shock, his expression softened. "Ma'am," he said gently, "life has already taken too much from my little girl. If she says she sees something in you, I have to listen." And in that instant, everything changed. The weeks that followed were not easy. Trust took time. Elena, who had been abandoned so often, struggled to believe she was truly welcome. Lucy's father, Jack, was cautious, but he opened his home nonetheless, giving her a place to sleep, food to eat, and something she had not felt in years, safety. Slowly, the walls Elena had built began to crumble. She cooked meals with Jack, tucked Lucy into bed, helped with homework, even laughed again. She discovered that love was not about being perfect but about showing up, about choosing to stay when life got hard. And one night, as she stood at the window watching Lucy sleep, Jack joined her. His voice was quiet, steady. "You know, when Lucy lost her mother, I thought she'd never smile again. But since you've been here, it's like she believes in miracles again." Elena's throat tightened. "I didn't save her, Jack. She saved me." Jack placed a hand on her shoulder, and in that moment, Elena realized the truth. Sometimes family isn't the one you're born into, it's the one that finds you in the unlikeliest of places, like a snowy train station at midnight. Months later, Elena would walk hand in hand with Lucy and Jack through the bustling station where it all began, no longer abandoned, no longer lost. She had found not only a home but a purpose, to love and be loved, to give back the kindness that had once been given to her. And every time Lucy squeezed her hand and whispered, "I love you, Mommy," Elena knew that the little girl's words on that cold night had been more than wishful thinking. They had been destiny.